Yo, late night with Joseph, SR, celibacy, the brahmachari, Semen, this ep, you know what I'm saying? We gonna joke about the spiritual demons, man, because there's so many different layers of spiritual protection. Semen, let me ask y'all this, all my fellas, you know what I'm saying? All the jits, all the men. If I got some females out there too, y'all let me know. You know what I'm saying? But answer this question. Answer this in the comment section. When was the last time you had a witch sleeping on your back? You know what I'm saying? When was the last time you had sleep paralysis, man? You know what I'm saying? You let me know in the comment section. I ain't been dealing with that. The spiritual protection has been on. It been running. You know what I'm saying? The processor been processing. Semen. And if you going through it, if you having severe spiritual warfare in your life and you not on celibacy, brahmachari, semen retention, that's your only option to get through this. You have to draw and you have to pull the Most High closer to you, realizing that the Most High dwell within us. You understand what I'm saying? But especially in these times, it's a lot of spiritual warfare, and you need that spiritual protection. You know what I'm saying? And with that spiritual protection, you got to realize there's a lot of spiritual demons. Like I said, you got the witch that like to ride your fucking back while you sleep and paralyze you. You know what I'm saying? Sleep paralysis. You got that witch. You know what I'm saying? That's spiritual. So you got to make sure your spiritual nature is in this natural homeostasis. You know what I'm saying? Now, we gonna slide over to another, you know what I'm saying? Another character. You know, here it is. You got the succubus. She one of the most dangerous ones because she actually is taking your life force. If she could catch you slipping, if you don't get up in time, it's like when you in a dream and you think you about to go to the bathroom. Yeah, you got to get up. You know what I'm saying? But before you get down, before you lay down, you got to have that spiritual protection. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your environment is righteous, your environment is clean, your thoughts was healthy before you laid it down. You said some, you know what I'm saying, some spiritual protection, some affirmations. You did some prayer work before you lay it down. Because even prayer work, that sound and that sound, you know what I'm saying, was gonna give you a sound mind when you go to sleep. You dig? Because you attracting what you going to sleep with. If you got all these different thoughts of these different emotions, especially if they carnal, then you're gonna be attracting it in the spiritual realm. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever you done in the physical realm, you're definitely gonna attract it, and you're gonna be amplifying that type of energy in the spiritual realm. And at the end of the day, you still gotta recognize and realize you're carrying the light and this darkness out here that wanna dwell within these murky waters. So you gotta become the lotus flower and rise above it all. You understand what I'm saying? You can't let nobody put out your light, put out your fire. That's your spiritual protection, the esoteric flame. You understand me? Now see the succubus or the incubus for the woman that's on here as well. You understand what I'm saying? They taking a lot, man. They interrupting your sleep, and before you go to sleep, you want to make sure that, you know, you didn't exhaust the faculties too much because you don't want to be too tired. I know that sounds crazy. You go to sleep to recover so you don't be tired, but sometimes you can't go to sleep too tired. The body shouldn't be too tired, you know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to catch you when you're weak, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're going and you're eating different foods from different restaurants and cooked by different hands of people. That's spirit cooking. And a lot of these people, you don't know the spirits that dwell within people. So to each his own, but I don't let nobody cook my food. You know what I'm saying? All my food, I gotta prepare it and do what I gotta do on my own with that. Cause you don't know the spirits that people putting inside these foods. You know what I'm saying? They could be chanting certain things and having certain ideologies and ideas in their mind and hosting that energy while they holding your food, and then when they give it to you, they trying to transmute that to you. So you got to, you know what I'm saying, have that spiritual defense, spiritual boundaries. You understand what I'm saying? Spiritual protection, spiritual boundaries, and spiritual protection. If you ain't even letting nobody cook your food, then you don't got to worry about spirit cooking. You know what I'm saying? I speak from example. I didn't eat food from out of the hand of a woman, and I just knew it. Like I just had like had a freaky dream, and I knew it because I had a freaky woman giving me my food, and she put that freaky energy on my food, and I was spiritually vulnerable, and I got compromised. You understand what I'm saying? So in order to, make sure you don't have that wet dream, you also want to make sure you ain't eating too much sugar and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can manifest demons, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual demons through what you eat. Like I said, it's a deep ass chamber, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to spirit cooking. So cooking your own food is what's vital and what's gonna also be beneficial to your spirit because your spirit knows what it likes, what it needs, and how it wants it. You feel me? But couple other attacks we got, we got that old lust. That lust try to come back every now and then. You know what I'm saying? It always try to change our perception. You dig? So we gotta make sure we locked in with our spiritual nature and we respecting that, keeping our homeostasis level right because these spirits out here trying to find a host that they could devour or they could take for a joyride. You understand what I'm saying? And we ain't being low vibrational, so we don't get hijacked. You understand what I'm saying? But there's all different type of gateways through all different type of forms. Your phone is a gateway, so you got to be very conscious of what you letting go inside your eye gates because that's transferring inside your soul. You know what I'm saying? Manipulating the nature of your spirit. And you want to keep that in a natural homeostasis level. So like I said, man, you don't want to be participating in things that could disrupt your spirit. That's faces, places, and situations. But that's life. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta know how to bob and weave. Husband of the year with a stiff arm. Yeah, Semen. But yeah, man, I just wanted to chop it up, talking about the spiritual protection and those spiritual adversaries that we have to deal with. You understand what I'm saying? That I just spoke about the worst of the worst to me. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? But if you got, your principalities in check, then you really ain't gonna be indulging with them. But still in all, Satan, the malevolent force, the wicked ones, these leeches, these psychic vampires, these spiritual vampires. They come in the feast just like they got motherfuckers doing psychic attacks and that psychic vampires, they got spiritual vampires. And that's the succubus, that's the incubus, that's the Jezebel, that's the witch that's riding you while you sleep, you know what I'm saying? All these different entities, man, they something serious, dog, because you can't touch them. These things are not in the physical realm. And you know what I'm saying, you got to be getting good sleep, you got to be eating right and stuff like that because you go to the other dimensions, you go to the other realms of realities, and you need to be able to control yourself just as you do in this physical realm, right? And whatever you do in the physical realm is what's going to happen in the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? So if you've been physically doing what you need to do, you know what I'm saying, working out, eating, circulation, stretching, etc., you know what I'm saying, prayers, affirmation, doing your spiritual practices in the physical. Then when it's time for the spiritual, then you're going to have way more defense, way more offense. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that prayer work, man, those affirmations, you know what I'm saying, meditating, yoga, just getting the sound mind That's vital, dog, when it comes to fighting the spiritual demons. You understand what I'm saying? Making sure we have healthy emotions and healthy intentions. That's what's gonna transfer really into the spiritual realm the most. So we gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying, that don't manifest when we into that spiritual realm. We got spiritual battles going on. Because they don't want you with all that energy. They don't want to see you compromising. I mean, they don't want to see you, you know what I'm saying, conquering what they had to compromise for. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure you on your P's and your Q's, man. Keeping your head on the swivel, making sure your spiritual defense, offense, and your special team is A1. Because they coming out, dog, for real. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, bro, like whatever happened in the physical is gonna transfer in the spiritual. So if you was, you know what I'm saying, giving a woman a lustful look, or you was letting a woman give you more than a lustful look and letting that pierce inside your eye gates, you know what I'm saying, you could, you know what I'm saying, that could transfer in the spiritual realm, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's why, yeah, you could look, pay attention, nigga. We ain't gay. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta realize, dog, is witches and warlocks, and it's a lot of motherfucking things that you just don't. It's a lot of nobody know it all, man. We learn something new every day, and building that connection and that bridge by having eye connection. You know what I'm saying? She could be planting seeds. He could be planting seeds that could not manifest physically. They're gonna try to use that in the spiritual. You understand what I'm saying? What they didn't get done in the physical, they're gonna try to take that to the spiritual realm. And these women, if you a woman, these men like to look in your eyes, you know what I'm saying, and project and leave things and leave voicemails and shit like that. So, you know, you got to keep your spiritual notifications, your spiritual McAfee A1. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes on the prize and stay locked in. Energy goes where attention flows. Attention flows where energy goes. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Keep the most high close. Keep the most high in everything. You know what I'm saying? Because these motherfuckers want your energy, dog. If they could drain your spirit, then you know, if they could take your spirit out of you while you still alive, you just be a zombie. You be a walking dead like them. You know what I'm saying? They trying to transmute us to become one of them. So, hey, man, y'all stay up, man. Y'all keep y'all spiritual defenses, offenses, and special team in check. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, comment, subscribe. You already know I got the Cash App, $781 THEVBYZ 1234. It ain't gonna hurt, squirt. You water me, I water you. Any topics y'all want me to dissect, you know, if y'all want me to do some reactions or some shit, let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get down with it. I'm doing full-time YouTube. It's how I get paid, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta drop that hot shit. You know what I'm saying? Supply and demand at the same time. You dig? But I just want to chop it up about the spiritual adversaries, you know what I'm saying, having that spiritual defense, that spiritual protection, man, because it's needed, you know what I'm saying? That's your compass, that's your golden compass, the spirit. And if you got so many different tabs open and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, then hey, you spreading yourself thin. But I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all in the next ep. Oasis, peace and prosperity.